I'm talking about a lot of things here. Hey, how I forgot everything, you guys. Hey Slayers, I hope you guys are fabulous. My name is Tumi and this is Young Broken Fabulous. If it's your first time here, you are not a Slayer yet. To become a Slayer, all you need to do is click subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a notification every time I post. And if you're a returning Slayer, welcome back, babe. Appreciate you. Anyways, anyhow, let's get into the video. I want to talk about anxiety symptoms that I didn't even realize that were anxiety. The reason why I want to talk about this is because like we miss so many flags like that we're anxious or like that like it's our body's response to anxiety. Anxiety is a lot of things. Like a lot of people struggle with anxiety. Like I've seen a lot of people talk about how they struggle with anxiety, and I just wanted to talk about it because it's one of my biggest things. I struggle with anxiety like almost on a daily basis, guys. I'm afraid of doing the most basic things, like say for instance if I have to make a call. Like it makes me so anxious. I hate making calls. I don't know why, but they make me anxious. Like simple things, like say for instance if I'm in the kitchen at the office and then someone walks in, like I'm already anxious about like the conversation because I'm not like good at small talk, so it just makes me so anxious that I just leave the kitchen and I come back at a later time when no one is in there. But those are like the minor things, but I push through them because at the end of the day I can't let my anxiety really rule my life. It does most of the time, but it's a Ilwantombo kind of situation. I'm fighting with it. Let's define anxiety. It's intense, excessive and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating and feeling tired may occur. So those, like, that's what anxiety is. So it's a mental disorder characterized by feelings of worry, anxiety or fear that are strong enough to interfere with your day-to-day living. Symptoms may include like the excessive worry, intrusive thought and fatigue. So I have experienced all of these things, and those are just like the obvious symptoms of anxiety. But the ones that I came to realize later that, man, this was mad anxiety, was after I actually went through it. So the first one, which was like so embarrassing because I ended up having body odor because of the anxiety. So I didn't know at my, like, where I used to work, like it was a very stressful situation, and I talked about, I don't go into detail, but it was not like, it was a very stressful environment for me. So I ended up developing the sweats, guys. So first, it was when it started, I used to have night sweats, like where I had to wake up and change during the night because I would be drenched in sweat, and it was because of the nightmares I would have, or situations where I'm getting shouted at and everything like that. But it stopped at some point, like the night sweat stopped, and that was clear. It was anxiety. It was very clear, sharp. Then as the time went on, like I'm someone who wears a lot of closed shoes. I used to sweat buckets. Like there would be, as soon as I get to the office in the morning, my feet are already drenched in sweat. I remember I'd had to go to the bathroom and like literally wipe my feet with tissue, and like I'd just take soap and tissue and then just wipe my shoes and wipe my feet, and the rest of the day I would literally be drenched in sweat. So to a point where I couldn't repeat my shoes, and obviously they became very smelly, which was very, like, it made me very self-conscious. Obviously, like, it was not something that's ideal to have sweaty feet like that as a woman. Like, it made me very self-conscious. And I remember when I got home, I literally had to take off my shoes and put them outside. That's how bad it was. Then it went, even when I was wearing open shoes, my feet would still sweat. So I thought I had I had a problem with excessive sweating, my feet like excessively sweating. So I was even now researching getting Botox for my feet and stuff. But then at that time, I think I couldn't afford it, but I was so ready to do it because this was actually hindering my life and actually causing the anxiety to even be more. And then I left, and I left the place, and then I got my new job. Then like 6 months, I remember, like, actually a year into working at my new place, I mentioned that, like, guys, I actually used to have very sweaty feet, but it's not the case anymore because I've been wearing closed shoes and stuff. Like, it's just something that it just went, like, I forgot about it because now I was wearing closed shoes. Even when I went to gym, I would sweat, but it wouldn't be like excessive. And I just realized one day, I was like, I'm not excessively sweating anymore. Literally, I can repeat my shoes. I am not excessively sweating anymore. And then I went to realize, like, oh my god. So for 2 years, I thought I had a problem with my feet, but it was actually anxiety that made me like sweat like that. Guys, can you imagine? Like, I literally thought I had a problem. I really thought I had a problem. I never picked up that it was actually anxiety because it just started randomly, and it did stop randomly as well, but it stopped when I was in a more calm environment where, like, I actually enjoyed being there. The second most horrible anxiety symptom I've ever had was the pins and needles. Guys, I would have pins and needles all over my body. Then later on, it just became in my armpits. Like, literal, they were so painful. Like, there's pins and needles where, like, you feel like, you know, when you sit on your foot and then you can't feel it and you feel like you have ants. The pins and needles that I would feel, like, it would be like I'm sweating needles. And it was for a year or so, and it was still at the same place. But besides the sweating, I started having pins and needles. Like, every time something would make me scared, I would get pins and needles all over my body. Guys, that was the worst ever experience I've ever had. Yo, it was so bad. And you'd just see me do this. Like, I would do this because it would be so painful, and then I would just do this so that it could pass. So it felt like there was like a stream of needles just going through my body. And that one, I picked up very quickly that it was actually an anxiety symptom, because it like something would trigger me and then I'd get pins and needles. But it was so painful. It's not as painful as not being able to breathe. For me, the actual anxiety attack is so horrible because you feel like you're actually dying. But the pins and needles were like so inconvenient, and because I couldn't hold the sensation, you would see like a physical reaction from me. My anxiety basically is the being afraid of every and any situation, like calling people and all of those things. And that's very weird. Like, I really have a phobia of calling people. I don't have, like, if somebody calls me, it's fine, unless I start, like, say for instance, if you're not used to calling me and you call me, I already think you're giving me bad news. When I was younger, I had social anxiety. I literally, like, I remember even like going to town was kind of a scary thing. It was very scary, but I don't know, like, at that point I didn't even know what anxiety was. But it was very scary for me to do like basic things. Like going to town was very scary for me. In primary, I got out of my shell only in like around grade 6 and grade 7. Before that, I was very into myself, and the reason that I experienced a lot of bullying from a young age. Like I was very young, but I experienced bullying from, like, it was not bullying as such, but it was how people were mean to me because I was not pretty, and people used to say that every day. And like it's not every day, but I just remember a lot of instances where me being ugly would always come up. Like people don't know how to just like mice. They didn't, like, I was that ugly that they couldn't mice. So I think that's what caused my social anxiety. And like when I was really young, I was I think I went through a phase where I was like I was those children that fought a lot, and not fought, I hit people, not I fought, I hit people. Like I would literally hit people. And I remember this one time, this other girl, she was so pretty, she was yellow bone, she, like, we're still, I'm 6, 7, but I remember that memory very well, because on top of me being ugly, it labeled me as like someone who's like ugly from the inside. So they visited me, and obviously, like, I'm looking at this girl, she's so pretty, she's everything I'm not. She has this long hair, beautiful skin, she's just like a cute kid, and I was not. So I not take soil. I took soil and I literally like hit her with the soil on, like, I literally took the soil and put it on top of her head. Like, that's me. I had anger issues as a child, and then those anger issues went on to become anxiety. So my emotions went from, I was always being told I was ugly, then it translated into anger, then it translated into frustration, jealousy, then once I went, like, I was over those stages, I then became, how would I describe it, emotional about it. So every time I'd cry, guys, I would cry, me, and that thing of crying went with me till varsity, because as soon as I experienced that people don't like me, like, I'd literally be sad about it, cry about it. Right now I don't care, honestly. Like, I'm just like, if you don't like me, you don't like me. I know I didn't do anything for you not to like me. But yeah, that's just high school. I didn't have a problem with like feeling like I was ugly. My anxiety was born by other things. Then varsity, I remember this other time we went to this event, SNS. Did I not cry? So we were at the event, and I went with my boyfriend, now husband, Sharp. We went with our group of friends, we were having fun. Then we were in a group like of mutual friends, and I was talking to this guy who had a girlfriend over, Sharp. Did this girl not threaten me? Like, I didn't come with my boyfriend there. Like, I was just talking to the guy because all the girls were acting cold towards me. But the coldness started coming from, because in varsity and thing, I used to dress up. I was just like, no ways, I'm not gonna make myself look ugly or be uncomfortable in my own skin because people are uncomfortable. If they choose not to like me, they choose not to like me. So that's why I have a lot of guy friends instead of like girlfriends, because people just like cancelled me automatically. Like, I get cancelled everywhere because maybe people think I'm bougie or something. I like looking cute. I mean, like looking cute, but I'm a very nice person. But I had, like, now when we are older, like, I feel like people grow up and women also grow up, so they don't have that mentality anymore. But when you are in varsity, high school, like, yeah, it's not as easy. So going back to the event at SNS, so we are there at that event, and then this girl threatens me and tells me like I should stay away from man and ever, and I was already feeling some type of way because all those girls were so cold. But I was with my friends, my girlfriends, like there were 2 girlfriends, and then all the other ones are guys. And the reason why I was even friends with them is because of I was linked to them because of my guy friends. So sharp, I was having fun and everything, and every person who's a girl who's ever encountered me, and I think I even try too hard to make like them comfortable so they can like me. But if you end up not liking me, I don't stress myself. Hey, I cried. Did I not cry, guys? Yo, I was just like, I can't believe I'm still experiencing this. It's so hard. And I was just constantly crying because like I felt like I'll never have girlfriends in my life, and I'm talking about a lot of things here, hey. But let me just finish the story. Like I just felt, yeah, I just felt frustrated at that point. But anyway, anywho, I was just like, why do people think I'm after that man? I don't even care about those things. Like, I'm not that type of person. Like, male attention doesn't do anything for me, like, honestly. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're experiencing anxiety, love and light to you, just try your best to always build your mental strength and tell yourself every day it's a sickness that you have to fight every day. You have to fight with it, unfortunately, every day. Yes, there's medication for anxiety. If needs be, you can get medication to help you with the situation, but if it's not that bad, it's a matter of mental strength. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, Slayers. Love you. Bye.